Transmitiendo nuestra comunidad al mundo. Transmitiendo nuestra comunidad al mundo.
Good evening. Every year, our community continues to grieve the loss due to overdose of those that suffer from substance use disorder. They touch our lives in different ways. They may be a friend, a parent, a sibling, a coworker, a child, a spouse, or a patient. Which is why today, on August 31st, we celebrate International Overdose Awareness Day. It is a time to come together as a community and commemorate the lives lost, honor the pain families have endured, educate and raise awareness on overdose, and reduce stigma of drug-related death. My name is Yara Castro from Mariposa Community Health Center, and I'm the director of SOSA, the Santa Cruz County Overcoming Substance Addiction Consortium. The SOSA Consortium brings together community and statewide organizations that represent 7 sectors: health, behavioral health, emergency response, law enforcement, youth development, higher education, and social services. I would like to thank our lead partner agencies and give them the opportunity to introduce themselves. I will go ahead and begin with the lead for prevention, who has also led today's awareness activities.
Good evening, my name is Eva Zuniga, representing Circles of Peace, the Santa Cruz County Drug-Free Community Coalition, and the State Opioid Response.
Good evening, my name is Martin Felix, and I am representing the Recovery Part for Wellness Connections Partner with Hope. Thank you.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Alberto Durazo, soy de Pinarji Hispanic Council y represento la parte de la recuperación.
Hello, my name is Terry Cañas, and I am with Community Health Associates, and I represent the treatment sector.
Good evening, my name is Ryan Quick from Mariposa Community Health Center, representing treatment.
And not present today is CHEC, who represents the workforce development area. So thank you once again for your commitment, for being here tonight, and for leading these efforts. SOSA was created so that together we better serve Santa Cruz County by increasing the availability of and access to appropriate services to prevent, treat, and recover from substance use disorder, especially opioid use disorder. Our community has the power to reduce stigma around addiction and encourage our loved ones to seek help for substance disorders or mental health conditions. Our community members deserve to be free from the pain of addiction, trauma, death, overdose, and all the negative impacts that addiction can bring to them, their families, and Santa Cruz County at large. International Overdose Awareness Day is celebrated throughout the world, for every community is affected by addiction. It was started by the Salvation Army in 2001, which is important to note because many of our community members here in Santa Cruz have received rehabilitation services through faith-based recovery services like the Salvation Army. Real-time opioid data from the Arizona Department of Health Services between June 15 to 2017 to last Friday states that there has been 6,857 deaths and 49,753 suspected opioid overdoses. One life lost is too many. Between June 2017 and January 2019, in a time span of about a year and a half, Santa Cruz County had close to 100 reported cases on individuals who succumbed to overdose. This goes to show that Santa Cruz is not immune to this disease. Addiction doesn't discriminate against age or social status. We have to take care of each other, our children, our youth, and our elderly. For anyone can easily and unwillingly become addicted to substances. It is important to recognize and bring awareness to the signs and symptoms of a person going through an opioid overdose in order to help. These include unconsciousness, being unresponsive, vomiting, slow to no breathing, low pulse, fingernails or lips turning blue, and or being awake but cannot talk. The action that you can take to save someone's life is to call 911, administer Narcan, which is the life-saving overdose reversal medication, perform CPR as needed, and stay until help arrives. It is up to us as a community to prevent overdoses, support those that are battling substance use and opioid use disorder, reduce the stigma and fear that our families face, and send the message that getting help is okay. Globally, the theme for International Awareness Day is a time to remember and a time to act. Let's take this to heart and act to reduce stigma and promote awareness to this public health issue that is taking the lives of those closest to us. Thank you for tuning in and showing your support. As we continue our evening, I'd like to present Mayor Arturo Garino, who will present the proclamation.
Good evening, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to be part of your awareness for overdose. It's a proclamation from my office. Whereas International Overdose Awareness Day is recognized globally on August 31st to raise awareness about the risk of overdosing, honor individuals whose lives have been lost from overdosing, and acknowledge the grief felt by families, friends, and community. And whereas Overdose Awareness Day aims to publicly challenge the stigma associated with substance use disorders and overdosing. And whereas since 2017, there have been 6,682 suspect opioid overdose deaths and 48,120 suspect opioid overdose in Arizona, 2 deaths in Arizona per day. And whereas since 2017, 2,720 naloxone doses have been administered according to Arizona Department of Health Services, as naloxone continues to be in high necessity with Arizona and Santa Cruz County for first responders, emergency personnel, family, friends, and non-EMS professions. And whereas in 2019, over 700,000 people in Arizona aged 12 and older had abused an illicit drug in the past month. And whereas today we join with Arizona Department of Health and Human Services, Santa Cruz County Opioid Consortium, Santa Cruz County Opioid Response Program, and various community networks to provide an opportunity for people to honor those whose lives have been impacted or lost, and send a message of love and support to those suffering from a substance use disorder. Now, therefore, I, Arturo Garino, Mayor of the City of Nogales, Arizona, do hereby proclaim August 31st, 2020 as Overdose Awareness Day. Thank you. Thank you very much. Again, I want to thank you very much, and I want to thank the groups and the organizations involved in our county and in our city in reference to overdose awareness. This is very important. It's something that we all have to be part of, not only the city, but also the county and the state of Arizona, and all health departments involved in this. Thank you very much for your work, and let's keep it up. Thank you. Muchas gracias.
Good evening. Thank you again, Mr. Arturo Garino, for the proclamation, and I want to thank all the stakeholders that have been part of this event. It's been a journey, and a big part of my heart falls into this overdose, as I am a survivor too of an overdose. But it's not about me today, so it's about everyone that has lost their lives and played part of that. I have the honor to invite a testimony, a person that has gone through a lived experience as well, that will be sharing her experience and her testimony as a victim of an overdose. Now I'm gladly to introduce Cassandra Figueroa to share her testimony. Gracias, Cassandra.
Hello everyone, my name is Cassandra Figueroa, and today for me it's not important to introduce my title, my workplace, my ethnicity, or my gender. Today what's important to introduce is that I am a survivor. Not only am I a survivor, I am a mother of a child who lost his father by overdose. I can clearly remember the day I made the call. I was sitting in 23-hour confinement in the Santa Cruz County Detention Center, facing charges, and I thought I was going to call home to update everybody about what was going on when I received the news. I remember I was in disbelief. I kept on asking questions about what hospital I could contact or what agency I could get a hold of. I remember my first thoughts were Martin and Carmen and getting a hold of my family so I could know what was going on. When all of those thoughts passed, the next flash was my son, my 7-month-old son, who had a mother who was incarcerated and a father who was dead. He didn't beat the battle. Unfortunately, when we use drugs, we don't know when that last use is going to be our last use. I can tell you as a survivor now that the times that I overdosed, I was also in disbelief. I wasn't educated. I thought I had slept the entire day. When people would tell me that I was overdosing, I was like, no, I never got taken into a facility. What do you mean? I was never classified as a overdose patient. So that wasn't something that I had become aware of. Today, Overdose Awareness Day is exactly that, to educate our community. Now I see it as a mother's perspective. I have children who are growing up in a community where the overdose rate is rising. I also have my peers that are dying due to overdose. I can't tell you statistics. I don't know the exact numbers in our community, but I can give you names and faces. I could tell you the memories that I had with those people. I could tell you the exact place and time when I sat with them and had a conversation maybe of them wanting to stop the use of drugs, but they didn't know how. It can be, let it be stigma, let it be our culture, let it be the unknown, the fear of change. And this is why these things are so important to me, why I advocate it, why I lose the fear to stand in front of you guys, because the community needs to know that there are resources available. I think a lot of the times we hide in fear. And this is why today I recover out loud for the people that still suffer in silence. I also have somebody here that could give you her lived experience with losing a son, who is my son's father's mother. So I want to introduce Carmen Astorga, the mother of Alejandro Ayala, and also my mom. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Carmen Astorga, mother to Cassandra Figueroa also. She became my daughter the minute that I met her because I saw the need, why she was turning to drugs. Why was she turning to drugs? Why was my son using drugs? We lose that perspective because we are afraid to talk about it. It's too embarrassing to talk about it. But in reality, we all have it in our families. One or the other is either addicted to drugs or addicted to alcohol, food, pornography, everything. And we're embarrassed. We're embarrassed to say, my son is addicted. My son suffered addiction for 15 years. He struggled with addiction to heroin for the past 9 years. He was in and out of prison, in and out of juvenile first. Then it turned into prison where he was addicted. He became addicted while he was serving time in the Arizona Department of Corrections. And I had no idea. I thought he was just in there and he was okay. When he left prison, and I found a needle with heroin in his room, and I faced him, and I said, what is this? And he was embarrassed, and he was scared. He didn't know what to tell me. He didn't want to hurt me. Therefore, he didn't look for help from Mom. But knowing that I was the only one that was going to help him out of his addiction, he trusted me later. I was there for him day and night. Didn't matter what happened. People would tell me, Wellness Connection told me, throw him out. Make him suffer. Make him hit rock bottom. My heart couldn't. I knew that it was something good for him if he was going to turn around and say, I don't have anybody else but my mom. But I couldn't. I'll be honest, I couldn't, and I never did. I was there 24/7 for him. I looked everywhere for help. I'm not embarrassed anymore to say, I have a son, I had a son that was addicted to drugs. I didn't use drugs. I didn't know what the symptoms were, but I researched, and I searched everywhere. I went to Kentucky because Kentucky and Ohio are the only 2 states that you can petition through the court, and the court sends them there. But what would happen when he get out? Again, drug use, because it wasn't his time, because he wasn't decided to leave it. And it's not easy to leave drugs. It's not easy to become drug-free. But I was there 24/7. I lost my son a 1.5 years ago. He left Cassandra, and he left a baby. I decided to turn my pain around. It is very painful to lose a son. I don't wish that upon anybody, especially to drugs. Very, very painful. But I decided to turn that pain around and help others. There are many, many in the community that know me as Choco's mom. And they call me and they tell me, I'm about to use, or I need help. I need to get to a detox. And then my calls go to Martin. And that's what the community is about. We need to help each other. We need to stop being embarrassed of having to say, I have a son, I have a daughter who is addicted, or he's a drug user, or he's an alcoholic. They need help. They need us. They need our community. Nogales, Santa Cruz County need to come together for their sake. Death needs to stop now for that purpose. My message to parents, look for help. Look for help. There is help around Nogales. That they're going to talk about you, that's okay, but you're going to save your son's or your daughter's life. Be aware of what they do, where they're at. Even if they're 18 or above 18, it doesn't matter. Your child is always going to be a child. And thanks to my son, I became a stronger person. People ask me, how come you can talk about your son's death? It just happened 1.5 years ago. Because I want others to know that this is real and that death is happening every day. When is it your child's? It's time to step up. step up to the plate and let's get these kids out of this. So together as a community, we can make the difference. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cassandra and Carmen. Today we remember Choco and countless others who have lost the battle to overdose, but the battle's not over. We have groups such as the SOSA Consortium that are working to end overdose. Overdose is possible to be eradicated, so thank you so much for sharing your story. You're truly modeling transforming pain into power, into healing, so thank you so much. Right now I'm going to present Jessica Gallego, the Santa Cruz County Drug-Free Community Coalition Coordinator, who will be leading us in a moment of silence.
Good evening. My name is Jessica Gallego, representing Circles of Peace, and it is an honor to be here remembering those who have lost the battle to overdose. Let's take a moment of silence this evening for those who have been affected by the devastating effects of overdose, addiction, and for those who are still suffering.
Hello, my name is Christina Cota. I am a community educator for Circles of Peace, and I'm here today to share with you guys a poem that I wrote. I wrote this poem to encourage building resiliency for others, and I know that people going through drug addiction, they're usually in that because of problems or situations that they're facing that may seem impossible, but I feel like we can all use that reminder that we can do anything, and that there's something inside of us that can help us conquer any problem or any situation that we face. So this poem that I wrote is called You Are Brave. You were brave as a baby when you started to climb, brave when you attempted to stand up for the first time. You were brave when you started to talk, saying words to and fro. You were especially brave when you first told your mom the word no. You were brave on your very first day of school, brave when you picked out your outfit the night before to make sure that you looked cool. You were brave when you made your first ever friend. You took the risk and stayed positive even when you knew your friendship could suddenly end. You were brave when you had your very first crush, brave to talk to them even though it made you blush. You were brave when you saw your family go through problems that were tough, brave when you understood that problems happen in families and you are still enough. You were brave when you got that new hairdo, and brave when your heart was broken in two. You were brave when it seemed like you were all alone, brave when it felt like you were not known. You were brave when it seemed like no one believed in you, brave when they would say things that were not true. But what they don't know is that your bravery has made you into who you were made to be. Bravery is the secret sauce to you and me. Though at times you don't feel strong, just know that you have been brave all along. Thank you.
Buenas tardes. Muchas gracias a todos los que participaron en hacer posible este Día Nacional de la Concientización sobre las muertes de sobredosis. Mi nombre es Blanca Costa y soy el director de Círculos de Paz, pero más importante, participamos en este consorcio que se ha formado en Santa Cruz County. Quiero dar gracias a las autoridades, al mayor Arturo Garino, al gobernador Ducey, también por firmar la proclamación para este condado, y también a todos los que han participado dentro del consorcio para hacer más fuerte esta colaboración y poder así educar a la población del Condado de Santa Cruz. Lo más importante que tenemos que recordar es tiempo de recordar, es tiempo de actuar, como dice el eslogan de este día que conmemoramos a las personas que han fallecido, que han perdido su muerte por causa de sobredosis. Pero recordar que la sobredosis es prevenible y si nos educamos y buscamos ayuda, una vida se puede salvar. Eso es lo más importante para nosotros, poder llegar a los hogares de ustedes, poder decirles que la recuperación es posible. Busquen ayuda, busquen las agencias, busquen a las personas que les pueden ayudar, conéctense con los recursos que existen y lo más importante, conmemoremos este día teniendo en cuenta que quizás una persona que hayamos conocido ha perdido la batalla, pero ahora nos toca actuar, nos toca educar y nos toca ayudar a nuestra comunidad. Gracias a todos, gracias a los participantes de este consorcio, a los colaboradores por haber participado y hacer de este día un día especial. Yara, ¿quieres cerrar? Ok, gracias.
Transmitiendo nuestra comunidad al mundo.